Recording has started. We are in Jindabyne for the Meet the Candidates event. We had to change venues at the last minute. We'll talk about it another time. It's hosted by the Ratepayers. Thank you to the candidates who've turned up. We're going to do quick introductions. We've compressed the timetable, so we're going to stick to introductions, and we've got about one question. It's a much shorter concept tonight. Thank you. Starting over this side, we go with Luke and then Marie.
Well, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for watching the video, I guess. My name's Luke Williamson. I'm leading Group A. I'm an existing councillor and I've decided to run for re-election. It would be fair to say I think the current group of councillors have not done a great job. We haven't worked well as a group, and most importantly, we haven't governed the organisation effectively. As a result, in my view, things have got worse, not better, over the last 3 years, and that's manifested in quite a serious financial situation for the current council. I've decided to run though because I think I can help. I believe I have knowledge and skills from my professional life that will help improve council. And as a group leader, I've been working closely with my other group members to build a team that is more than happy to work hard together and to work to represent you to take on the critical challenges that council has. We have a motto which is stop spending and start mending, and that's our message to you. If you would like a better council, you would like some rate rise control, then I urge you to vote 1 for Group A, the Luke Williamson Group.
Hi everyone. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Marie Stevenson, and I've had the privilege of living in the Snow Mountains for 38 years. My journey in this area began when I first moved to Thredbo for work, and like many, I was drawn here by the natural beauty. But it was a strong sense of community that made me stay. But while I've seen many changes, while there has been many changes, there is a need for committed leadership. Throughout my time in Jindabyne and Cooma, I've been deeply involved in the community. I proudly served on the original committee to bring a high school to Jindabyne, advocating for local families to have educational options closer to home. And it's wonderful to see that that's coming to fruition. Professionally, I've worn many hats. I've worked in hospitality, childcare, and managed a ski lodge. I'm always up for a challenge. I did a chef apprenticeship at the same time as studying bookkeeping, and I now work in hospitality at Cooma and run my own bookkeeping business. My experience has taught me the importance of community, transparency, integrity and communication. If elected, these are the values that will guide my work as a councillor. I'm dedicated to ensuring openness and accountability in council operations, particularly regarding finances. With such limited funds, we really must ensure every dollar is spent wisely. I believe in doing the job right the first time with honesty and diligence. Most importantly, I would like to see the councillors being out in the community, listening to your concerns and working together to find solutions. I'm running for council because I believe in the power of a united community. Together, we can create a legacy that honours the rich history of this area while building a brighter future for our children and grandchildren. I'm asking for your vote because I'm committed to working tirelessly for the community, just as I have for the past 38 years. I don't have all the answers, and many of you may think I have a lot to learn, and you're right, but I'm open and excited to learn. It's not a reason to doubt my ability. After all, we've all been new at something at some time. I'd like to take an opportunity to clarify I have no affiliation with a political group or party. I'm running as an independent candidate. Thank you for your time. Vote 1 Marie Stevenson.
serious. Okay, my name's Dave Chatterton. I'm from the Bombala area, and I am running for council. The reason I'm running for council is because I'm sick of all the bollocks that the previous councils have tried to push on us. Effectively, I want change, and I want change for the better. Effectively, from my experience as a solutions architect and doing systems engineering through industry, I can see that there are many ways we can improve the council. Just talking the last couple of weeks through and to the other candidates, and also to people on the street and my mum. So yeah, Mum, this is serious. I'm actually running for council. I've decided that, yeah, I'm going to give it a red hot go. So on that, better stakeholder engagement. Who are the stakeholders? The stakeholders are the people of the community and the ratepayers. The people that actually need to do this is the council, and for their customer, which is again the ratepayers. So we need to get back to basics and work out how we can make things more efficient, run better, and effectively be better for the stakeholders, aka you and us. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, and yeah, what does my t-shirt say? What a difference a Dave makes. And thank you very much for my wife for giving this to me for a Father's Day way back when. Cheers.
If you've consoled your mum, Dave, you got my vote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mum's 100% behind me.
I reckon that, no, it's great. If you said mum was offside, then that was it, I was going to
I wouldn't be here if my mum was offside.
just a call.
My go? I've got two chapters either side here.
It's all competition for votes.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's all
my
yours
name-
now. Go ahead.
My name is Peter Beer. I've been on council for many years. I've worked for council. My profession has been public health, town planning and building construction, and also community services, which I think are one of the main things that councils in this area, and in fact I say through our local government area, has not got enough of. I think it's a bit of an anomaly to call us local government when we really are local administration, because all the laws that are administered to us are done by either the state or the federal, but mainly the state. So we have to work with the state to get things done. Now you can talk about what a council do, what does a council do? What are the statutory things that council do? Well, they're quite few actually. Water, sewage, garbage, look after the public health, look after garbage tips, all that sort of stuff. But the likes of swimming pools, parks, gardens are not statutory. Council takes them on to make sure that the public have something to go to. The other issue that we have is that the state government generally allows us to put up rates by a very small margin, like say 4%, and yet our costs go up 10%. So we have to keep on getting better and better. Now to actually turn around and put a rate rise on, rather than what the state government does, the state government has to approve it. So any rise in rates over and above the statutory limit has to be approved by the state government after a hell of a lot of work and information before they do it. So why do I want to stand again? Well, as I said before, local government, I suppose, has been in my blood. We have such a large area, probably one of the largest areas in New South Wales for this size council. 22,000 people, thereabouts here. We have about 2,700 kilometres of road which we have to look after, near impossible unless we get better funds from our state and federal government. That's where the drive's got to be. To then look for staff. Why do if we cut staff, we lose services. What services do you want to lose? That's the sort of questions we have to work with. Now this council has just left us, has only been in for what, 2 years and 9 months? We talk about the merger. The merger was forced on us by the state government. The three councils didn't want to merge. Now we're merged and you want to demerge. What's that going to cost? What's the future going to hold? I believe the future is that we stay together, but we've got to make sure that we hammer the state and federal governments to get the funds we need to do the work we need to do in this area. it doesn't matter whether it's the Bombala with its timber and its agriculture, whether it's here with the tourism in summer and winter, whether it's services in Cooma, they're the things we have to hammer. For example, I can talk about Jindabyne. What services do we have here? Hardly any community, social services at all. All go to Cooma, and if you're really sick, you've got to go all the way to Canberra. We have to work with the state and federal government and force them to give us those funds and those services here that we don't have. But as a local council, we have to then turn around and then start looking at doing the things that we have to do. Make sure the garbage is right, make sure the sewage is right, make sure that the roads are done as well as we can, and make sure that we do the right thing. If we don't, we'll be running the car without water, oil and petrol. And what happens then? It stops. And the government then can move an administrator and do anything they like. So we have to be a council which works together in such a way that we can get things done rather than fighting and just going for one or two things. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Good work, I can see you're going to go wrong.
I could have longer.
Hello everyone, my name's Ruben Rose and I head a group of 6 people, Group F on the ballot paper, and we're a group committed to getting back to basics, which is what the council isn't doing at the moment. Peter's outlined a few ideas there, but you know, one of the things that's happened, can you believe it, is while our backs were turned, everything went wrong, and I think I can identify what's happened. I've lived in the area all my life. In fact, I go back to the 1870s when my great-grandfather moved here, and I haven't really seen a lot of change here in many ways in some areas, but change in a lot of other areas. And so I've had a long history of being very founded in this region, and I've seen things go bad, and I can identify the very thing that went bad. That is, we were forced into a merger. And I don't agree with Peter, it's not a question of continuing a bad system. Bad systems will be good people 100% of the time. We have to get back to local issues and local responsibility. I'll give you a couple of examples we found today. Bombala Council, when it was acting alone, had over $10 million in reserves before they were merged. Every council was individually better off. There was better responsibility, better local responsibility. This is a disaster. I've realised that this is a complete mess, and part of it is because we've got councillors that haven't taken aggressive action and demanded action by staff to make things better. So we want to get back to basics. We want to actually ensure that rate rises don't increase. Can you believe it? The councillors, the local councillors, Peter, voted for a 54% increase in special rate variations. This is an outrage. So that's one thing we have to do. We have to fix the rates. We have to allow the council doesn't get rate increases but lives within its budget. That's the first thing. We have to fix the roads. Council at one stage said, we won't have enough money to do the roads. That's for their basic function. Whatever else is happening, we've got to get the roads right and we've got to fix the rubbish. Can you believe it? Petra, a local woman here, is going around at her own expense picking up rubbish. What happens? She takes it to the tip. They want to charge you. They want to put every element in a way not to make sure that rubbish is collected and dealt with. A revolution is needed. We need to get a group of councillors that are independent, that are going to come in and change the whole system, because bad systems will be good people. Basically, there's a principle in business which is very simple. If you keep things the same, you'll get the same result. And the people that have caused the problem, of course, they can't fix it. That's why we throw governments out. That's why Joe Biden has gone in the US, and that's why we need to have this group of councillors, apart from the ones that have actually voted against the rate rise. We need them gone and out. And as far as I know, it's only Luke Williamson and Louise Frolick who voted against that rate rise. So we need to get serious, we need to get back to basics, and we need to make sure that things change here, because if we keep going the same way we're going, we're going to be in a mess.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi there, my name is Christopher Chan. I'm running as the number 2 on the Ruben Rose ballot. I totally agree with everything the number 1, Professor Ruben, has said here.
Thank goodness.
100% agree. I think the merger was one of the worst policy decisions we could have had in this region. A lot of from my understanding, a lot of the counties out here, they were incredibly profitable. However, since the mergers happened, these counties have become unprofitable. And it's not that bigger is better. I think bigger has been worse for all our communities. For instance, I have no idea what's good for Bombala. Why would Bombala know what's good for Jindabyne? And I think it's time to get back to smaller units of government. And I think this is what we stand for. We want to go focus on the bare basics of the functions of local government, which should be roads, rubbish,
Rates,
and
we bring the
rates.
rates down.
I think it's incredible that if the current group of councillors couldn't balance the budget in terms of having the revenue exceed expenditures in terms of salaries over the last 7 years, what confidence do we have that even with this 52.5% increase that they'll get that right? So I believe that, yeah, we do need a reset of councillors to ensure that future generations in the Monaro have a better future.
Good afternoon, James Gilbert's my name. I'm the lead candidate of Group D, along with enthusiastic Dave over there, and Lionel or Charlie Harris from Cooma. We're very focused on the needs of the community, and very concerned with the fact that the way the council has been eroded since merger. I'm not a great advocate of the occurrence or the splitting back into demerging. I feel more that we should improve all the regional depots, the regional infrastructure, the regional management of each shire, but still have a group run along the single line. I would be more than satisfied to come into the council with a group of candidates of the favour for the majority of these people. I think there's only one way that the councillors will function, is to have an agreement to a degree on making sure that the business runs smoothly. We've seen business operation, we've seen the damage, we've seen the costs over the last 2.5 years. It's time for change. We need to make change from the top down, and there needs to be an absolute transparent audit upon the council members, upper staff, mid-range. Where's the money gone? What's the infrastructure worth? Where is everything? Where'd the money go? If you vote for us, we'll see that happen within this group. Thank you.
Charles Kleiner. A bit of background. I've worked in the oil and gas industry for close to 40 years. My work's taken me from up in the north of the Arctic Circle to the Middle East, down Australasia, etc. Had some difficult decisions to make in that time with regard to a lot of people working under me and with me. Why am I running? Well, I'm running with Andrew in Group B and Nick and a few others. Why? Because we can put out there and we can address the hard decisions that need to be addressed in this community. Our previous council, in my view, they have not done a good job. They've broken the council. Basically, when you get decisions coming from management and council is simply waving them through, that is not good for the community and it's not good for the individuals. I know Andrew's a bit of a controversial person, but that's what you need here. You need a bit of controversy, but it's all backed by fact. And if you want a genuine council who are not afraid to raise the contentious issues, then I would strongly recommend you vote for Group B, led by Andrew Taylor. Thank you.
First time I've ever heard that Andrew Saylor was controversial. Thanks for sharing that with us. All right, my name is Matt Nolte. I'm a candidate for the Shooter, Fishers and Farmer Party. Can I just say that it's been a pleasure understanding all the community issues that have been raised. I've been instrumental in a couple of endeavours in this community which have looked at some major incident, and it saddens me to tell you that I see current councillors either rerunning or walking away from problems that they've created. Now, the thing that I stand for personally is face it. Fairness, accountability, commitment, integrity, excellence and trust. These are the cornerstones that we expect others in our community to live by. And when I see that that does not occur of those people that are in charge of decisions within our council, then indeed you've got to bring this up to the attention of the public. Because there is a system here which doesn't favour ratepayers. And you've also got to look at the fact that we've had a fair few people in council in financial positions rotating over a period of 4 years. I believe the number is 7. That does not promote a sustainable financial practice. And neither does it promote a long-term vision for this particular Monaro region. Our region has a number of benefits which are unique. We have environmental conditions which can't be found anywhere else in this world. We have sustainable and renewable energy sources that need to be looked at. And we have a vast majority network of roads which need maintenance. And that is a big job for any council. However, stop spending. There was a motion they put up to get a $40 million council building. Luckily for the community, it did not go ahead. But when you see these kind of motions coming before councillors, you've got to ask yourself the question, why do they put that in front of council? Exactly. Because there are other financial constraints in other budgets where if we pay the attention and we have $40 million, we might be able to do a lot more for this community. Work within the means that you have. And that is a very important thing to understand. So on election day, you vote, of course, vote number 1, Matt Nolte, right? And your vote will only count, correction, if you have 5 other people that you vote for within that group. So thanks guys, appreciate it, and it'll be a pleasure working with you all in the near future.
We had a question from Shawnee.
Yep, okay.
Feel free to jump out the front and
Yep.
run your question.
Yep, I'll just stand here. Okay, my question to you all today centers on communication, and this is the biggest thing that I'm worried about with council at the moment. I've been the general manager of a large hotel, and I've had a business here in Jindabyne for 22 years. Most of the success of these 2 businesses were based on effective communication. And at this stage, we're in a diabolical situation where the lines of communication with council have completely broken down. And this is the biggest thing that people in our community, I'm a community member here in Jindabyne, and most of the people that I talk to tell me that communication with council is diabolical. My question to you is, what is one thing that you would do to change that around? Thank you.
Good question. All right. So the question is, how can we improve communication with council? Look, as the president of the Ratepayers Association and now vice president, as well as the vice president of the Australian National Busking Championships, I listened to the community and I've heard that indeed it seems to be a one-way communication with council. We call up, we request to speak to somebody, they're not available, so could you please email us? And the complaints that I've heard from people directly to me saying, well, we don't get a reply from council. They don't even acknowledge my email sometimes. And so I think the very first thing councillors, when they get together, need to sit down with council and give them the facts, saying there is a number of people in this community that have written to you and there is no response to that. Councillors need to be proactive in carrying the message that they hear from our community in their meetings. And it needs to be documented. And the big thing here is a thing called continuous improvement. Continuous improvement in big business, as Shawnee pointed out, is the cornerstone of feedback. in order to improve. And so my suggestion would be that councillors inform themselves about continuous improvement and path the way forward, so that every single query that a member of the public puts to this council receives a reply, and that it is a worthy reply. In other words, that it makes sense and the person feels satisfied. That would be my reply.
Just going back on a bit of background, in my experience, I've worked in various areas where we had different nationalities. We had Indians, Bangladeshis, Nepalese, all in the one area. So how do we communicate? It took time and effort on my part and on their part. And I think the biggest thing is you don't give up. You keep going, you keep trying to communicate. Now, one thing I know with this council, as it stands and has been even with the last council, we've written to council on numerous occasions about environmental issues, about various personal issues as well. And to quote one example, the day after the new general manager came to council, I wrote to him with our very serious concerns. To this date, we have not had a reply. Is that fair? Council has a complaints management policy and it's got various other policies, but they don't seem to be enforced. With this new council, I only hope that the councillors will step up and make a resolution that is binding so the community can get responses to their concerns.
It is a big, difficult question. Communications between the councillors and the staff of the council are nil due to what we've been led to believe is legislation. Communications are key for the message of the councillors to get through to the staff and within the council as to what the community's concerns are. Non-response is inexcusable. Like was said, that emails that have been sent for months and not communicated with. I think there's a secrecy and a privacy in the council issues with that too, which makes it very difficult for a satisfactory outcome from inquiries from the general public. Trying to communicate is just nigh impossible. I think we need to analyse the legislation to turn it to our advantage. It could be a pathway through, but there has to be a commitment from the management within the council to make the effort to communicate with people, and we need to bring that forward through, if elected, through the GM to get him more than one conduit. We need to have other conduits to communicate within the council as well through other members of or leaders of different groups. We can't just rely on the GM to do the one thing. That's all.
Unfortunately, my experience with council has mirrored everyone's experience here. I've been one of the cases where we've actually had to go to court regarding rates issues. In fact, I think it was 1 year waiting in the courts and another year even after the court before our simple rates issue could be resolved. It was so severe that you even have the court rulings that the local council won't abide by. And these are simple things that you should just be able to pick up the phone and say, look, this is what's happened. We should be able to agree. It shouldn't require sending letters and emails, phone calls that never get returned over a period of 2 years. It's completely unacceptable. As a ratepayer, we should expect better service and better treatment. And I think this is one of the primary reasons that I want to run, because I want to see that the customer service for little things, from the way Petra, the lady that picks up rubbish on the roads for free, gets treated, to the average ratepayer who often on their first notice gets a court notice saying a debt notice saying you have an extra $500 or $750 fee because of a late notice that they never received. And so, yeah, I believe that as running under Ruben's candidacy, we can improve that as councillors, saying that there has to be a change in the systems. You can't just run straight to litigation. You can't just run straight to the debt recovery agencies and punish good citizens for not being able to to meet their obligations straight off the bat, sometimes without even notice.
Shawnee, the simple story here is the result of all communication is misunderstanding. Now that's just in average communication. It means that you've got to work doubly hard to actually get good communication. The second point is bad systems will be good people 100% of the time. There are people trying there, but you've got a rotten system. If the communication is so hard and you can't even get a reply from some of the key people when you write to them, it means that there's a system problem. So, what does it mean? It means that there needs to be a radical overhaul of the approach taken to communication by the council. It needs to be prioritised, and what we need to do is to get back to basics. It's a simple thing. The bigger bureaucracy you have, if you try to get in touch with anyone in a federal bureaucracy, it's impossible. Now, I'll give you one practical example. It's a guy called Mark. He looks after the RSL park down in Berridale, and he used to get, when he needed a key to the hall, he'd go to the local Berridale office, get the key, sign a book, come back and use the hall. The next time he went just recently, no, you can't just get the key from the hall, because for the hall and sign the book from the lady he knows, you've got to go to a portal and you have to log in and answer 50 questions, and it takes an hour and a half when it just took you 5 minutes to get the key. It's bureaucracy gone mad, but it's inevitable. That's the extraordinary thing. As soon as you have a bloated bureaucracy, as soon as you have amalgamation, no one is responsible for anything. So we have to get back to basics. It doesn't matter what the cost is, it'll keep on going bad as soon as we don't have local responsibility and autonomy. When we can't have someone going and getting the key to the Berridale Hall from the lady and signing a book, but has to go to a portal and ask 50 questions, we've lost the plot. The council has lost the plot. What's happened is that something's happened just before our eyes, we didn't even know. But sometimes somehow you get to the system. The same thing happened in Jindabyne Council with putting a DA in. You can go in and see someone. No, you have to get into a portal. You've got to sign in. They can't find the thing. You can't work the login. I mean, the whole thing has gone completely crazy. It's not about customer service. It's about preventing customer service. Can you believe it? It's about ensuring people can't get into the system. It's a system designed to show that no one can do anything, because bureaucrats love to do that. We have to change. Thank you.
I agree a lot with what's been heard, to tell you the truth, because I get peppered with questions all the time too, and I take them in and I try to keep a list of them, but sometimes it's near impossible, quite frankly. You talked about the planning system. State government changed that, it wasn't council. I think the old system, as you mentioned before, worked a lot better. You could actually sit down and talk to people rather than go through some system which doesn't work, and you have to be an expert in the system to make it actually work. Two seats down from me, I can remember that first conversation we had, what, 18 months ago?
That's right, sir.
Took 18 months to get it sorted out.